All right, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and as you can see, sneak peek number 4 for the September update is here. It is a tier 4 Carnage with a brand new uniform. This thing actually looks demonic. I don't know about you guys, it doesn't really scream Carnage for me, but it definitely looks badass. It definitely looks demonic. It kind of reminds me of something out of Devil May Cry, if you will. I don't know how you guys feel about this personally. I would have preferred a more recognizable look for Carnage, but it is what it is. This is what they're dropping. It kind of looks like a random action figure, a demonic action figure from any generic MMORPG. Just saying. I think they could have done a little bit better than this. However, looks aren't everything. We want to see substance. Hopefully this time around, he is at least on par with Venom, because he hasn't been keeping up. So be interesting to see what they actually do. I thought in addition to Venom, they would have given him the tier 4. However, I was hoping that this would be a couple weeks from now, so we could have some time to collect more combat books of Ashanti. That way we don't have to buy the pack from the store to get the selector. But if you're not a content creator, it's all good. You could just take your time. Hopefully you haven't tier 4'd Venom yet, even though Venom is really, really good. So that way you can see if this guy is better, and then you can decide which one you want, because they're both going to be combat tier 4s. Obviously, Carnage is going to be a villain, so he's going to be in direct competition with Hulk. And that actually leads me to my point of this video, or one of my points of this video, is that kind of see why they're nerfing or balancing Hulk, or planning to balance Hulk, right? They don't want Hulk to overshadow Carnage right out the gate, because if you have a combat supervillain that can destroy everybody in PvP and already can do all of the PvE content, why would you need Carnage outside of the people who just really love him? You can kind of see where there's the monetary motivation there for them to make sure that Hulk isn't too broken, so they can go ahead and cash in big time on Carnage. However, let's see what they have to say here on the forums. So over here on the forums, the message they left us reads, "The symbiote who has prepared for extreme battle has returned to Marvel Future Fight from the Underworld." They say extreme battle here, which kind of reminds me of Extreme Alliance battle. So maybe he's going to become the de facto #1 best combat supervillain in the game again, because once upon a time he was. So who knows? Currently, Hulk can only score, I believe, 11.2 to 11.5 million in Extreme Alliance battle on the combat supervillain day. So maybe Carnage is going to come in and he's going to be like a guaranteed 12 million. Well, maybe not a guaranteed 12 million for everybody, but for the people who invest everything into him, maybe he becomes the Extreme Alliance battle meta for that particular day. Obviously, Hulk already has value in other pieces of content, so it will be interesting to see how the Fallen Soul stacks up to Hulk, because if he's not able to keep up with Hulk in PvP, which is going to be very unlikely, right, he has to outshine him to some degree in PvE. I'm hoping they give him Fracture, but basically what they said here is check out the new looks of this brutal symbiote. We will announce more through the patch details later, basically meaning this patch that we're going to be getting is only going to be for one uniform. This tells me exactly what I speculated a couple weeks ago, that they're going to be stretching the September update all through October to line up the next update cycle with the Black Panther 2 movie. So keep that in mind. More than likely, either next week or the week after that, there's going to be another mid-month patch. My guess is there's going to be 2. There's going to be this one for the Carnage uniform to complete the Symbiote Invasion 2. We might see something next week, maybe a Null uniform, since people are really excited for that. Who knows? I'm not really, because personally I've seen how they treated Gore, and if anything, I would prefer to see a Gore buff than a uniform for Null personally. But if you could have both, sure, give it to me both, right? But next week we might have something, and then the week after that, more than likely they're going to complete the Warriors of the Sky by giving us tier 4 Shadow Shell, and then obviously they're going to give new uniforms for Shadow Shell and War Tiger. That's what I'm expecting. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense how they're going to stretch this out for another 4 weeks to line things up with the Black Panther movie. But I definitely don't see us getting an October update. And if it is an October update, it's more likely going to be like a Black Panther October update. That's what I see happening here. Anyways, let's talk about Carnage, because him getting tier 4 is actually pretty useful to me, and it could be pretty useful to some of you guys. So when it comes to tier 4 Carnage, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind, because if you've been actively pushing as high as you can in World Boss Legend every single day, eventually you're going to hit a sticking point and you're going to need someone with the pure evil tag. And I think that is exactly why they're releasing him right now, because many of us have been stuck on stage 55 against Infinity Ultron for the past couple months, and they're seeing that, so they're like, no one's been able to get past 55. Let's release Carnage now, and then all the big whales, all the people who want to get closer to stage 99, they're going to go ahead and they're going to tier 4 him, and he's actually going to get them closer to the next sticking point, which is stage 70, because that's going to require us to get a male mutant. Okay, 60 to 64 is going to be speed female, which is Black Widow, and then 65 to 69 is actually going to be universal male alien, which obviously is Thor. So they're actually pretty smart in the way how they're releasing these tier 4s. So most of us who are pushing are going to have no choice but to actually pick up Carnage. Hopefully he's really, really good. There's a couple changes that I would love to see him get. For one, this 10% heal on his fort skill needs to be changed, right? This cannot work. It has to be at least 30% or more on the heal. I would also prefer it if his cooldown times for his skills weren't so long. If he was more proc friendly, maybe you could use him with a CTP of energy or a CTP of destruction, instead of only having the option of using him with a CTP of rage, especially since he doesn't have any ignore, dodge, or chain hit damage built into his kit. Hopefully they consider changing that and bringing him more in line with Venom, because Venom has chain hit and ignore dodge. It's kind of nutty. Plus, maybe, just maybe, they could think about buffing his damage reduction from 15% to 45%. Okay, maybe a little bit more than Venom. If you ask me, I think Carnage should be more powerful than Venom, but I know it's King in Black, gotta light Venom, so you guys may feel some type of way about that. Personally though, I hope they don't put him in a situation where he's heavily reliant on Agent Venom for the chain hit damage, because otherwise that would be kind of shitty for two paywall characters to kind of need each other to function. So I'm hoping if they keep him as a rage character, they give him the tools that he needs to do well. He already has the guaranteed critical rate, so that's fine, but I think he needs ignore, dodge, and chain hit damage with more healing and a lot of damage reduction. That's what I think he needs, plus, you know, better skills. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments, especially considering the fact that some of you guys, some of you mad lads out there, wanted to see a tier 4 for Null, or at the very least a new uniform for him. Considering the fact that we're only getting one uniform in this update cycle, how do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about the new look that they're giving to Carnage, and what would he need to bring to the table to make him worth the tier 4 advancement for many of you guys? Because I know, just like I am on my free-to-play account, many of you guys have just been sitting back and waiting to see who gets a tier 4 and how good they are and what they're good at to justify the investment, because of the fact that the rewards are just lacking right now in World Boss Legend. Like, honestly, we should be able to get more Carbonadium, and we probably need more Soul of the Faltines, considering the fact that they're dropping a new tier 4 every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That is kind of crazy that they have decided to be a little too stingy. But eventually they'll release the floodgates, and just like how we have thousands of tier 3 materials, we will get to the point where we have thousands of tier 4 materials. It might be when tier 5 comes, but all things in due time. You guys let me know what you think and what you're looking forward to seeing from Carnage. Personally, if they make him an Extreme Alliance battle character, I would be okay with that, but I would like it if he was at least on par with Venom. Because if he only comes in and he's able to score maybe 1,000,000 points more than Hulk in Extreme Alliance battle, that's not going to be enough for people to justify tier 4 him when they can get so much more value out of Hulk. However, there is going to be a nerf happening to Hulk. Maybe half of the power that he has now is going to go. We'll have to wait and see, because before his tier 4 wasn't working, now it's working. They're saying it's too strong. So we'll have to wait and see when they eventually, quote unquote, balance Hulk, right? To make, you know, make Carnage look good, and the other characters that come after him, my guess, Namor and possibly Black Panther, could be coming as the next combat tier force. They don't want Hulk to outshine those guys. So it is what it is, man. We'll see how things shake out. Leave me your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you guys